The next story is called Edward to the Rescue. Remember, whenever you hear this sound, turn the page over. Edward to the Rescue. It was a lovely morning in Fabuland. Captain Wilfrid Walrus was busy getting dressed. He cleaned his teeth, brushed his hair, and put on his best uniform, because today was a special day. The captain was taking everyone on a ferry trip to Needle Rock. Everything had to be shipshape before the passengers arrived. Wilfrid left his cabin and called out his orders. "First mate, Mike Monkey!" he shouted.
"Aye, aye, sir!"
Mike shouted back. "Check the paddle wheels!"
"Aye, aye, sir!"
called Mike. Mike was busy tightening up the nuts on the paddle wheels with his special spanner when Wilfrid spotted the visitors arriving.
"Goodness,"
he said.
"they're here already. Man the gangplank. Stand by to salute passengers." "Aye, aye, sir,"
replied Mike, rushing down the gangplank.
"Pipe visitors aboard,"
called Captain Wilfrid.
"Aye, aye, sir,"
said Mike. Mike turned to Edward.
"Phew, it's all go,"
he said.
"Could you hold this spanner for me, please, Edward?"
Edward took the spanner, and Mike piped the visitors aboard.
"Welcome aboard, everyone,"
said Wilfrid. "I'm looking forward to this," said Lionel, shaking Wilfrid's hand.
"When do we sail?"
asked Bonnie excitedly.
"I just can't wait."
"What about you, Edward?" Wilfrid asked. "Aren't you coming aboard?" Edward had stayed behind on the jetty. No, thanks," replied Edward. "I like watching boats better than going on them," he said, not wanting to disappoint Wilfrid. "Very well," said Wilfrid, and then he shouted to Mike, "Cast off!" And the ferry set off towards Needle Rock. "Mike," Edward called out, "you've forgotten your spanner." He waved the spanner. "Can you hear me?" he shouted at the top of his voice. But at that moment the ship's hooter sounded so nobody heard him. "Ooh!"
"Isn't this fun?"
said Bonnie, as she stood on the deck with Max.
"It's such a shame that Edward is missing it."
Up on the bridge, Lionel Lion was enjoying himself too. "Ah, this is the life," he said.
"Yes,"
agreed Wilfrid.
"The sound of a well-tuned engine is music to my ears. Pistons thrusting, paddles flashing. Oh, joy! Oh, bliss!"
Just as he spoke, there was a loud bang from the engine. Then it stopped.
"Oh, no!"
said Wilfrid. He rushed down to the engine room with Mike to see what was wrong. They found that all the large nuts had come loose.
"That's no problem,"
said Mike.
"I'll soon tighten them up with my special spanner."
He looked round for the spanner, and suddenly he remembered where it was.
"Oh, no,"
he said.
"I've left it with Edward. I'm afraid we're stuck."
Back on deck, everyone else was enjoying the sunshine.
"Isn't this peaceful, just drifting like this?"
said Hannah.
Yes, but aren't we getting too close to Needle Rock?
asked Max. They did seem very close.
Don't worry, said Hannah. I'm sure Captain Wilfrid knows what he's doing.
Captain Wilfrid and Mike came back on deck.
It's no good, said Mike. We're in trouble, Captain. We're heading straight for Needle Rock, and we've no power to go back for the spanner. Then the spanner will have to come to us,
said Wilfrid. Wilfrid picked up a loud hailer and called across the water to Edward on the jetty.
Edward, can you hear me? This is Wilfrid, Captain Wilfrid speaking. We're in danger. I repeat, danger! And only you can help us. We need the spanner. Bring it out in the rowing boat.
When Edward heard Wilfrid shouting, he didn't know what to do. I can't, he stuttered. I'm too scared. He could hear Hannah and the others shouting, Come on, Edward, you can do it. Edward walked slowly forward and got into the rowing boat. His friends watched from the ship as he started splashing towards them. Oh dear, how do I row this boat? Mumbled Edward to himself as it began to go round in circles.
Both oars together,
called Wilfrid from the ferry. This way, Edward! They all shouted.
He's going to do it,
said Wilfrid. And Edward did do it.
Well done, Edward,
said Wilfrid. Edward handed the spanner to Mike Monkey, and Mike got the engine going again. Only just in time. The ferry was about to go aground on Needle Rock. Everyone cheered.
Well done, Edward,
said Mike.
I think you're going to make a good sailor after all,
said Wilfrid, giving Edward his captain's hat. Yes, said Edward. I rather think so, too. Did you enjoy that story? Now, turn over the page to inside the back cover of the book. That's at the very end, just before you actually close the book up. Have you found it? All right. Then let's meet the rest of Edward Elephant's friends from Fabuland. Look at the left page. At the top is Freddy Fox. Freddy Fox enjoys running the general store and always has lots of bargains. Mike Monkey spends most of his time with Wilfrid on the ferry, although he should be helping Billy Bear to run the service station. Poor Clive Crocodile is rather foolish and clumsy, and he often spoils things for the others. Billy Bear likes inventing things, but they don't always work out the way he intends. Look at the opposite page. Bertie Bulldog is the chief of police, and he takes his work very seriously, making sure that life in Fabuland runs smoothly. Lucy Lamb is a nurse. She is sensible and knows how to make people feel better, but she's a terrible driver. Boris Bulldog is Fabuland's postman, and he's a poet as well. He never misses an opportunity to say one of his poems out loud. Because Catherine Cat is the best cook in Fabuland, her restaurant is a favourite meeting place for everyone in town. Well, that's the end. I do hope you enjoyed meeting Edward Elephant and his friends, and hearing about their adventures in Fabuland.